Okay, I am making this video for Elvis from Elvis Travels. Elvis, this here is the cabinet door that's underneath of my refrigerator. You can see here the big black pipe. That is your drain from your sink. And you can see, let's see if I can do this. You have a hot and a cold water line that runs back to the shower and to the toilet. Now there you can see the petcock right there on top is the valve that when we winterize the van we open them. And typically what I would do in my other campers and motorhomes, I have a fitting that screws into my city water side, and I would crack the pressure release valve, crack the valve on my hot water heater, and I would open my inside faucets, and with these valves closed, I would pressurize my system with air, and I would get all the water out of all the lines. Close the hot water heater after I drained it, and I would pressurize everything with the air and get everything out. So there's the one valve, and right here on the other side of the drain pipe is the second valve. Okay, now when you're using the water, close those valves, because all that does is drain the water in the lines underneath of the van. Give me 1 second here and I will show you the drain that's underneath of my couch. Okay, Elvis, right now I have the couch bed propped up with a piece of wood. Now, if you look in here, you see all of my wire. Let's get that out of the way if we can, for plugging in. You have the hose that comes out of the tank and goes into the water pump, okay? And then that comes out and that goes around and feeds the sink by the stove. Now, right now, I have the prop on it, which was stupid, but you can see the other white hose underneath of the one that's going to my pump. See if I can get it on video. That one comes all the way up to the front of my tank. You can see where it goes into the fitting on the front of the water tank. Okay, and then that one just travels back here, and you can see this valve right here. Okay, now that is closed. I know earlier we were talking about the one that was in yours, and that looks like it's in line, which would make you think it's open, but that valve right there is closed. I have about a half a tank of water right now in my tank, and what that one there does is that will drain my holding tank out underneath of the van. Okay, so there's only a few things that could be leaking, unless one of the pipes itself is actually broke, like this gray intake pipe here. Either, you know, check the fittings at your pump, make sure they're tight, make sure your clamps are tight, make sure both of those gray fittings are tight, either by hand or with a pair of channel locks, and just try to snug them. Your fittings at the tank, again, make sure that your clamps are tight. If that's not the issue, take the clamp off, get a pair of pliers and work your hose back and forth so you can get it off of the fitting. And I mean, you can see there, it's just small pieces of hose, so get the right diameter hose and either replace the hose. If you have a little bit of slack, like this hose right here, I wouldn't be able to do what I was talking to you about. I wouldn't be able to just take the clamp off. I wouldn't be able to just cut a piece off and reattach it. It's too short. I would definitely have to replace that piece of hose. So you may have to do the same thing. Now, a couple other things I wanted to talk about and kind of show you that we were discussing. Let me get this prop down. Let me set the phone down. I'll be right back. My goodness, these couches are heavy. There's no denying that. Okay. Now you and I should have the same type thermostat here. Suburban solid state ignition. There's the switch. Okay. And the temperature setting. So they should be the same in our vans. Okay. Here is the microwave. And to be honest with you, I don't think that this was a cabinet. I think that this came from the factory with the microwave in it. And like I was telling you, I mean, it's a small microwave. You know, you can barely fit probably about the size of a Solo cup in there, or a bag of popcorn. It's a small microwave. And then I have the cabinet next to it. What's different about ours too, is the way that our layout is. I have the drawers under the sink side, which is just three drawers. And then under the stove side, I have 2 cabinets, and that just accesses the back of the hot water heater and my drains. Okay. I also have a sheet on my door. This might be a good idea for you too. It just has all of my appliances, the brand name, the model, the serial numbers, you know, so it's easy to look up all of that information. Okay, you were asking me about the drip pan for the refrigerator. Our model refrigerators do not have drip pans, okay? There is no pan. Mine is the same exact way as yours is. So that's not something that you need to worry about. On our hot water heaters, you have your pressure relief valve right there. And then down under here, you have your drain plug to drain the tank, okay? So that's something you want to make sure you do too if you're going to be winterizing. Like I was saying to you about the white coming out of my van battery compartment, you can see the white on the ground and the white dripping down. I made the mistake of leaving the van plugged in for about a week, not using anything inside of the van. And what was happening is the converter was charging the battery, the coach battery, and without using anything, it was basically boiling my battery. Okay, so don't leave your van plugged into shore power if you're not using it, because the converter does not know when to shut off when the battery is fully charged, and it just boils the battery. You can see all the leakage we had here. So learn from my mistake. Do not keep your van plugged in if you're not using any of the 12-volt systems inside. Okay, one other thing I wanted to show you real quick. Okay, my van, like yours, has the Onan Microlight 2.8 genset. Do not make the mistake that I did and let your generator run out of fuel while you have it under a load. I had the rooftop air condition running off of the generator, and the generator ran out of fuel. And what happens with these 2.8 Onan microlights is they fry the voltage regulator, and that box with all the wires going into it is the voltage regulator, and it's a $210 part, and the whole generator has to come out of the cabinet in order to replace it. So I'm going to have to remove this generator and replace that voltage regulator. While it's out, I'll change the oil, filters, and you know, all that stuff. So try not to ever let this thing shut off while it's under load, or you will fry that voltage regulator. They're notoriously known for that. One last thing I'm going to show you, and that's the quarter panel that we were talking about. I'll show you what's going on there. Okay, the gentleman that I had purchased this van from, he passed away, and his son-in-law and daughter is the ones that sold the van to me. What happened was they had a blowout on the driver's side rear tire, and from the blowout it pushed the quarter panel up. So you're looking up under the van, and this is the quarter panel right here. So I mean, this can all be pulled back out, back to its original position there. So that's what you see because of that being pushed in. So I hope that helps you out a little bit there. And like I was telling you, with the if you're filling your tank with water, you need to turn your pump on, open your hot water side faucet in the tub and at the sink, and let all that water get out. Let it all bleed all the air out, and that way you can fill the tank with hot water if you plan on using your hot water heater. So that's pretty much it. If I think of anything else, I'll make another video. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll get back with you.